That's a coincidence.
I grew up on the northeast side
Northeast St. Petersburg?
of St. Petersburg. It's like off of 4th Street. Well, it's when you get to 4th Street, then you go down, I think, first, I don't know what the name of that, 40th Avenue. And you take 40th Avenue and you keep going down, not towards going towards Pinellas County, but the opposite way. And you have to, it's really an island, because in order to get over there, because it's called Shore Acres.
Yep, I know where it's at. I used to hang out. That's
I
where my
lived
hangout
there.
was when I was in my teens.
Yeah, I grew up, that's where I'm from. I grew up there in Shore Acres.
No kidding.
And my sister and my younger brother still live in Florida, St. Petersburg. Anyway, I don't see you, in case you...
I used to be, probably when I was 16, around 1981, something like that. That's when I used to hang out in there with all my friends and stuff.
Yeah, we lived there also. Arkansas Avenue.
No kidding. That's
No
what my
kidding.
buddy's street lives on. That's the house I used to hang out at, on that street.
Yeah, we lived in Arkansas, off of Arkansas Avenue. I don't even remember the address, but it was a 2-story house, an older one, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. I live by the Gateway Mall now. Well, I've lived in that area my whole life, so.
It's beautiful over there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't see you. You're not on video, just as a FYI.
Okay. Let's see. That's the button right there. There we go.
There you go. Hi.
This is Heather. She's my girlfriend.
Hi, Heather.
Nice to meet you.
She's the one that Orion's obviously set up with me. It had to happen. It was the strangest series of events. You wouldn't believe it. And it's still going on right now.
Well, everything's been strange about your whole life when you think about it.
It's unbelievable.
It's not like this is just something new that's strange. It's been, and it's strange because what they're saying is because it's not based off what we consider the norm. You know what I mean? So that's why it feels strange, and it still makes your head spin. And but y'all were in alignment for this. You have been through what all you've gone through prepared you for now, and then Heather, what all you've done and gone through has prepared you for now, because now you're both in a place where you can appreciate.
Did we just not talk about that?
And the things that you did in the past that you're not so proud of, or you wish you would have done different, now you know how to embrace this relationship going forward.
Now you're channeling that, right?
Oh yeah, that's not anything.
It's
that's
exactly
not
what
anything.
I said.
I mean, how would I know? I don't know anything, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Well, that's the best type of medium.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
no, that's coming in from source, and Eric's back here, but Eric kind of stood aside and let because I connect with source. And I connect with y'all's higher selves when I'm doing this. And who is it? Marie? She's also saying that she's also here helping. Is it Maria or Maria?
Maria Justice, I guess. Last name.
Maria, yeah. So, this is stuff that, because, Eric, you didn't want to come here and just
hang out again.
And have all these wild adventures by yourself. Because there's a richness in it when you share it with somebody, especially someone that you don't have to educate from the beginning.
Oh my God, I cannot believe this. See, this is their way of validating it, because have we not talked about that word for word?
That's all I feel.
It's crazy.
I feel it.
That's what she wants. She wants validation. That's why I ordered this session.
I mean,
she's got it.
She doesn't want validation. She wants confirmation.
Yes, exactly.
Because this is so weird. It's so out of the box. You can't go to the doctor and say, "This is what I'm getting. What do you get?" I mean, and it is. It's I still get blown away by all this stuff. Sometimes I go, "Am I really doing this stuff? This is so wild."
20 years ago, if you told me you're a medium, I would be like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, really had no thought of any of that stuff until I was 23. So,
Yeah.
and that took the death of my brother and that experience to get me going in this direction. But I didn't all of a sudden when doing this. I meditated, read books, and did all of this stuff. Because when you were it was in 1981 when you, as you mentioned the date, is when all of that started for me. And
wow. How long you been a medium?
I'm sorry?
How long you been a medium?
20 plus years.
Okay.
Yeah. But I wasn't out and about like I am now all those years. It's just around in my community that knew.
Right.
Because when you get out there on YouTube and all that stuff, all the sweet comments everybody puts out there.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't ever read. I did it one time, and I never did it again.
Yeah, it's well, there's only like a certain amount of them, and on my YouTube channel, I blocked the bad ones. I never get any bad ones anymore. So
awesome.
it's just a group of, they got like 8 screen names each, and they just harass you. There's not very many people.
Yeah, I don't even read because it's.
Yeah.
Eric says it's not. You're putting your energy in a place that it doesn't need to be.
Right.
So, Heather, do you have a sister friend or a sister on the other side or something?
I don't know. I was the last. I was the baby. There were a couple of twins, 2 sets of twins, and yeah, my mother had a bunch of other kids before me. But I have 2 living sisters now, but I don't.
I get like a sister friend or something. It's what it keeps feeling like to me, a sister friend.
I don't know. That's weird.
Somebody that passed or somebody just...
Yeah, somebody that's passed. And it's a sister friend. So does your sister have a friend that transitioned over?
I'm not close to any of my family. I'm sure they have. When I was little, there were a couple of people that were friends of my sister that I thought were like my other sisters. But I haven't seen them since I was a child. One of them was Mimi Lally, and Beth Lally. They took care of me. They were like they babysat me. But other than that, I didn't have a lot of people in my life.
And who was the first one? The name you said?
Mimi.
Mimi says that's me.
Aww.
Oh.
She's here. And no wonder I got sister friend.
Wow.
Yeah, so that made sense because I didn't understand why sister friend.
That's neat.
Yeah. I have chills on my legs. She's telling me to tell you, put all that hurt and pain and everything that comes from that in a box and send it away with love. She says, because you weren't meant to be close and all of that stuff to them, because otherwise you wouldn't be where you are right now.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you look over how everybody is, what you're wanting or what you wish you had isn't like that anyway. So it's good that they pushed you out of the nest early so that you wouldn't stay stuck in that environment.
Okay.
But she's holding her chest like, I don't know if she had like a heart attack or something, but she's definitely here. Do you have any contact with her family or anything?
I actually tried looking them up last year because a few memories that I have, there were them, her and her sister, and I couldn't find anything. They moved from Needham. I don't know where they went, but I mean, they were just the 2 of them. The whole family was blonde, blue-eyed angel babies. I loved being around the 2 girls. They were just very sweet to me. I mean, I took to anyone that was genuine and kind to me. I was just like a love baby. Yeah.
Well, and when as you say that, I feel like these are the people that came to you to keep you going. Did you have suicidal thoughts growing up?
Many.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what I'm going to say, my Eric, so you know I'm not talking about your Eric. My Eric says, and all of that was divinely planned. It was like source, God, whatever you want to call it, sent you, like you said, those angels to bring you forward.
Okay.
And so that's why she's telling me put all that stuff in a box and then send it away in love. So she says you have a lot of family member names, is what she's telling me. So she says, ooh, just chills all over me. She says, write their names on, like, cut up little pieces of paper, you know, where they're like, let me see, where it's like about this big,
Yep.
and write their names on it, and then fold it up and then put it in. She's saying a little box, so it could be a cardboard box or whatever.
Jar.
Yeah. Well, she's saying box because she's very much into the environment. She says she does a lot of work with our planet and another planet that's like ours for the environment. She's very diligent with that right now, and that's why I feel like she's saying box, because it's biodegradable and that. But she says write all their names and put it in there, and feel what it is every time you write their name, and put it in the box, and then you can either bury it, dig a hole and bury it, or you can put it in the trash. But when you do that, send it with love.
Of course.
And you're not like saying, oh, I want y'all to have everything and all this. You're asking the God of your understanding, source, or whoever you connect with, and just send them love. And then as you're doing that, ask that all of that be removed from you. And then she's telling me the main thing is for you to forgive yourself. You didn't do one thing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. And she says, by the way, she says, just chill. She says, I want you to know you are so beautiful. You don't even know that. You are so beautiful. And the reason for everybody to be the way they were is because you were not, what you needed was their DNA, because you're here to help heal that.
Yeah.
That generational, ancestral, and it makes life tough, as Eric knows. His journey hasn't been the best, but she's telling me you're with a good man.
I can feel that. I honestly, I feel something I've never felt before. I mean, I've had glimpses, but this is, I think it's a dream, and something's just gonna snap out.
No. So that must be why she's telling me to tell you to put that stuff in a box so you don't think he's going to leave. But she is telling me that Eric does like a cooked meal every now and then. That's what she's telling me. Is that true, Eric?
Made to order. This girl, that's going to be one of our questions coming up.
Okay. That's what she's telling me about you, Eric. So I don't know.
It was 2 weeks ago, I was in the water. I was in his hot tub, and I felt Eric, and I was doing a very strange healing, and he instructed me, or whoever that was, but I was doing just as you said. I was taking my immediate family, and I was putting love into these little spots, and I was sending them all automatically, and he was behind me the whole time, and I just was like, I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm doing it, and I've been releasing in these little, but 2 weeks ago was very specific. I felt it was a very major healing and clearing, and I don't know, I just wanted to bring that up. It was very specific.
Well, that just confirms what you did by what she's saying. Okay. Is that a dog or
it's
a little
pig?
It's my
chihuahua. It's a pig.
Sounds like a truffle pig, but it's not.
The noise, that is so funny. I was like, does he have a little pig in the house? Because,
Yes.
those make the best pets, I hear. And
Yes,
they're
they
very
do.
intelligent. But anyway, you living in Florida, I'm like, I don't know about that. But I'm kind of jealous that y'all are in Florida and I'm in Houston, Texas. But
Texas is nice.
Yeah. I moved here for 6 months.
And stayed.
40 something years ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
But anyway, so continue doing that. You don't know who you're connecting to, but she says who you're connecting to is your higher self and source. And I also feel like she's a big player for you. Like she helps you along and stuff like that.
Wow.
And you have so much love and over there on the other side. And she says, even some of your family members who are crossed over, they're also helping you.
Oh my goodness.
Because their part was to make it to where you didn't stick around, because you are this amazing healer and all this other stuff. So put their names in a box, bury it. You can burn it, throw it away, whatever just feels less exhausting for you to do. And just know, and then just, she says, and then just embrace this yumminess that you're having.
Okay.
She says he's low maintenance.
I can tell. He's perfect, actually. He's amazing.
You say you are low maintenance, Eric?
As low maintenance as it gets. She don't even have to get to me through my stomach. That's just a bonus. I can make my own food, or make her food too.
Yeah, but she's just saying that you do like one hot meal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that he demands it. She's just saying that it's just like a little thing to dote over him with, you know.
And I love to do that. I do.
She's a Whole Foods cooker too.
Yeah.
I mean, you just couldn't make it any better.
Whoa, those are nice to have in the
Very
family.
nice.
I hate to cook, and my partner loves to cook, and she's 100% vegan, and I'm like 98%. And the foods that she makes, that she just conjures up in her head, are just like unbelievable.
I've been waiting for him, I think, my whole life to just
Well,
be
you
this.
had some clearing out. It's kind of like you had a storage shed, you know, for all these years, and you were clearing things out. And also for Eric, he had to really get to a place where he knew that he was really worth all the gold in the world, and that he was the gold, and so he deserved good.
Yeah.
And he got that from this last episode.
We waited quite a while before we moved in together, like before the first date.
So y'all weren't like lesbians, where that joke is, what does a lesbian bring to her to her second date, and they say a U-Haul.
Nice.
Together right away. But you know, when it's y'all's age, not that y'all are old, because I'm like older than you, because when you said your age is 16 at 81, I was like, damn.
I didn't want to ask you your age, so that was my way of putting that in there.
I'm very proud of my age.
You look fantastic.
I'll be 65 in January.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so I'm very proud of my age. I'm very glad that I am my age, because my brother didn't make it, my father didn't make it, and my mother barely made it. And I'm very healthy, no medicine.
You easily look 20 years younger than you are, easily.
See, Eric is saying, he's telling me to say, Denise just loves you now. But anyway, so y'all just prepared for all of this. So it's like, have fun.
I'm ready to have some fun.
Yeah.
Finally.
And it's not going to end. It's not going to end. And one of the things, what I'm getting from Eric is he's saying, y'all both have created a place where it's safe to communicate. So if you don't like it that he picks his toes at the dinner table, it's safe for you to say that. And Eric is telling me to say this. I'm not saying you do this, Eric. He's giving me the analogy.
I'm not beyond that,
you
though.
are so right. I feel I've not been allowed to. If I did, it would make someone violently angry just by communicating. So he is completely open and values communication. And it's teaching me, because that's kind of, I have issues with my throat. So speaking clearly and effectively, and
chakra.
yeah, and the emotions, because I'm extremely water, and I don't know how to say it, because I bring stuff in, and he's just amazing with me. He's very,
and so
very
are
good.
you.
Thank you.
So are you. You can't see that in him if it's not in you.
Oh, thank you.
So what I'm getting, and I normally don't get names, because even your Eric has asked me, I'm like, I don't get names so much, but one of the, a very strong energy sense, a feminine energy sense, and she's showing me in the color yellow, that's with you all the time. Her name is Sally.
Wow. I don't Not that I. Oh.
You don't know Sally from here.
No.
She's never been here.
But yellow is significant for me.
Oh, really?
Very.
So that's her color, her energy color in her name. She's saying Sally is her name. And so that is who's very strong and very powerful with you. Like, it's almost like I feel like she's your, she's just one-on-one with you. Like, I feel like she's not with anybody else. She's just one-on-one with you, guiding you and directing you, turning your head. Like, you might be looking at something else and you get this urge to look to here and you see a sign or something literally, or somebody says something to you. But for some reason, she just makes me feel like she's just with you. I feel she probably is with others, but she's so strong with you. And she's telling me her name is Sally and her energy color is yellow.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, because someone's been with me, directing me. I feel like the last 3 years I've been almost like a puppet. Like, I don't know why I'm doing the things I'm doing, and I'm amazed. Like, I'm speaking with the universe, I'm playing with synchronicities, and somebody's like at the right moment, like, oh my God, I'm laughing now because it's all for me, and no one will understand it. And I'm just like, at this point in my life, this is the most enjoyment I've had, is just playing with synchronicity and being loved by the other side, until this. But whoever it has been is.
Sally makes me feel like a lot, but you have a lot of people. But she's also telling me the reason why your mother had so many kids. How many kids did she have?
There's 4 of us living, but my mother's not very well, so she aborted these babies herself. So I was lucky to have made it. I was the one that shouldn't have, but.
Wow. Well, there's a purpose in why she did what all she did.
Yes, I know. I mean, I try to understand, and I have compassion for all of them, and everything has a reason.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Is why I feel a lot of family. Why I said about family members on the other side helping you. You're the hero of the family, for lack of better ways.
Since I started doing energy work and walking the path of the shaman, which I had no clue anything about that, I felt that the sense was, I'm here breaking the karmic chains. I'm changing this for the family, and I have to do this, and I'm gonna do it. Whatever I'm doing it for all of them.
Well, this is why you had to come into you needed that DNA, because the lineage just goes back thousands of years in just repeated behavior.
Yes.
Do y'all do any kind of and they're asking me to ask you, so do y'all do any kind of psilocybin stuff, like mushrooms or anything like that?
I'm so ready. I tried last year microdosing, and then I couldn't get any more, but that's what I don't want to do ayahuasca yet, because I still have fear. But as far as little microdosing and a little bit of cactus, I feel like it's doing something for me beneficially. It's a breakthrough. All of the above. I want to do more.
It's always.
I have a contact.
Okay.
Oh, do you?
You have to be on Signal, though. Do y'all have Signal?
No, but I've been told to get it.
Yeah, it's more private, and I even have a client that's born and raised in China and then moved to the UK now in Singapore, and she's like in her 30s, but she uses Signal because she says it's very private.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I use Signal for her when we have sessions, and but I have Signal, and I can give you the guys, and I do not give this to anybody, but I'm just being told to give this to y'all. He has
we were just talking about that. It's everything you say is this is what she needs, confirmation. There's nothing you haven't said that we haven't talked about recently.
He has microdosing, and in the 6-month supply I think is like $230, and then he has, which his prices I think are good compared to someone else I know, and then he has these chocolate angels. That's mushrooms, and they're very, they're so, the love and the work, the stuff he puts into it is amazing. His prices are $25 or $30, and chocolate angel. They're 2 grams each.
Okay.
When you're doing the medicine, just start out with 1, and then You got a whole team over here. It's just over here talking, and Eric's translating it for me. Is saying that your Eric is to sit with you by it, and you do like a 5-hour. It's a 5-hour ordeal. So I'd start in the morning and do it, and don't plan to work the next day or whatever. You just hold space, Eric, for her. And you can, if you have Spotify, you can put in plant-based music and find something that will that she can listen to, because the music's real important. You want to have an eye mask on so you don't see, because I'm telling you, my sister and them did mushrooms, acid, and all that stuff back in the 70s, and I know they didn't have the experience that I know some other people have had, because otherwise some wouldn't be 6 feet under, and their whole lives would have been different. But
I used to cultivate them under my beds in the house, but when my kids got to be like 8 years old, I didn't want them to pull the trays out, so I stopped doing it. I threw them all out. I got property up north. I just took it all up here and dumped it. I didn't want them to, like, hey, what the hell is this? With all these mushrooms. But I've only done it like 3 times.
I used to drive the getaway car in Sarasota for some friends. So I'd drive the car while they were going through the pastures, because this was
that's fun.
Well, they were picking the mushrooms, because the people who owned the property would shoot you with rock salt, and I would drive the car so they wouldn't see a car just sitting still.
Did you ever have to make a big getaway and drive fast?
No, and I didn't do them. I was always scared of that stuff. But Eric is saying, though, this would be good, and Eric, it would be good for you too.
Oh yeah, I've tried it. I've done it 3 or 4 times. I love it. Yeah,
so what I recommend is you do one, and then about an hour later or hour and a half later, you ask her, "Are you ready for?
Good idea.
Do you want more?" And what I would do is cut the angel in half, and it doesn't matter if you cut her vertical or horizontal, and then give her the other half. I highly recommend, because you cook whole foods, is to not eat any dairy or meat products the day before and the day of. So in the morning, eat a light breakfast and then prepare to do your journey like around 10 or 11.
I don't get much of a journey out of it. I just laugh like hell. That's all.
Eric says because you didn't have enough medicine in you.
Oh, really? Okay.
But he's also saying you still clear out stuff, and this is not as aggressive as ayahuasca.
Good.
Yeah, I don't think you should. My guide told me, we do a lot of talking board sessions. You should never do that if you're already. We're both spiritually awakened. You shouldn't do it unless you can't meditate. You can't get over the hump. You got all kinds of blockages. But I don't know, what's Eric say about that?
Well, he says it's different for everyone. He says, it's going to get, he says it's kind of aggressive. And if you don't prepare your body for it, it's going to make you do what you need to do. And it can be pretty aggressive, like puking and all this other stuff, and
it's going to force you to get rid of what you got
yes, and the medicine knows what to bring up. You might think, I need to get rid of because I like to shop all the time, but the medicine will no, that's not what you're to work on. And you just see things and just know things. And when you start getting a little scared, just breathe and put your hands like this. And if you feel nauseated, you can say, and Eric can remind you to breathe, because what it is, that's all the energy flowing through you.
Yeah, my son went to South America and did it.
Who did?
My son. He runs a kava chain, kava and kratom chain, and he got all kind. They got money now, and they just take all their regulars, spent $5,000 each, just took everybody to South America. Spent 2 weeks down there doing ayahuasca.
Yeah, and I know some people. I have never done it. I have a client in Miami that does it. And he says every time he does it, it kicks his ass, but he's better through it, and some people like that. What I'm hearing from your group of people, Heather, and I feel like Eric is like in alignment with it, is that you've already had enough aggressiveness in your life.
I have.
So that you don't need that route.
Okay.
And it's time for you to just start nurturing and being gentle with yourself. And so this will help you and I feel like this will also help you to see why you chose the family you chose. And you will be able to have a different feeling about it all.
Okay.
And Eric, this will help you to see things too if you choose to do it. And when I give you the name and that, I'll you've texted me before, haven't you, Eric?
I don't think so.
You haven't? Okay.
I'd give you my number if you want.
Yeah, give it to me, and I'll text you his information.
727?
727,
465?
Okay.
4610.
4610.
I usually post these, our little sessions on my YouTube channel, but this one I'm just going to make private because this is all private stuff.
Good.
And if I did, I would have cut all that stuff out.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll text you his name, and then all you have to say is that, you were recommended by Denise, because, of course,
right.
the shit's illegal.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But
that's another thing I was worried about, too.
Yeah, but, and you get it through the mail, regular mail, and does it real quick, and I think he does PayPal, and you do friends and family, and
perfect.
They're not tracking that stuff.
No, that's I was told by law enforcement, people still do mushrooms. I've a couple of them like what? You don't ever pull anybody up and find out.
Yeah, and these are chocolate angels, and he's just a really cool guy. I've never met him in person, but he's definitely probably 20 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just a really cool guy. He's in North Carolina.
Great. Yeah, we're looking for a
contact.
Good.
And so you can order your microdose, and you can order your chocolate angels. And
I'd like to get some spores so I can start doing my own, because I don't have any kids at the house, so just her and I.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that does that. I have a client that does spores in New York.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, because when I channeled Terrence McKenna, who I knew nothing about him 3 years ago, and that's how he became my client, is because he said I was pretty spot on, because he knew Terrence McKenna.
Oh.
And so and he tells me he does his own spores.
Yeah.
But you can, and Eric is laughing. He goes, but this time you don't want it under your bed. He's going, because you do have to have a very clean environment.
Yeah, I kept them in Tupperware, so about 2/3 of it would not make it through. But then I built a, one of those things where you close it and it's a clean air thing and all that. But then I was like, then my friends started wanting some, and then I was making big batches. I'm like, I got kids, I can't do this, so I got rid of all of it.
Good, and this is something you don't just advertise, is what I'm hearing to tell you, because this is the medicine calls the people. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, it
and
does.
So and I definitely wouldn't give y'all this information if I wasn't being told to give you this information, because you can put it in the wrong hands. Right. And this is ceremonial stuff. It really is. Yeah. So what I'm getting is, Heather, you'll probably prepare 3 days, not consciously going, I'm going to prepare. You'll just all of a sudden just start noticing a difference in what you're doing with your body and digesting the food you're craving. And it's because you're preparing for a ceremony. I also feel like you'll probably dream of a lot of animals coming to you and stuff. And that it's, the animals speak to us. They do. And I don't care if where you are in your thought.
They do.
Yeah. I saw, because I walk every morning, and Monday morning there was a baby dead possum on the street. And I'm just like, oh, that's so sad. And then the next morning I assumed was the mama possum. So I was like,
Oh,
there's something in that, because I was thinking there's something, because it was like right around the same house in front, and I was like, there's a message. And then I got yesterday, there's a message for me seeing it.
oh.
And so I looked up what, spiritual meaning of a dead possum, and it's like good message.
I always like to get all my information from Channeling Eric, Alba Wyman, my own guys,
She's good.
you. Every time I Google something, I was like, well, where did that come from? I want to, because people make stuff up. I want to get it right from the horse's mouth on the other side. That's I always got my information that way.
Well, I do Animal Speak because I have the book, but I just was too lazy to go get the book. But that was another thing I want to talk to you about, Eric, is you're very intuitive. And you don't give yourself a whole lot of credit for that.
Told you.
You give everybody else the credit but you. And you couldn't be doing what you're doing if you weren't intuitive.
Yeah, supposedly Gina switched it on for me a couple of years ago or something.
Well, it's not that
Empath. The empath part of it.
She said...
For what I was going to go through.
Well, it's just more of a clearing because we all have this. Well, there's no way we would come to this planet if we didn't have a connection on the other side. There's no way.
I tell people that all the time. You don't come here without a team on the other side.
That is correct. It'd be like driving from New York to California without a cell phone, without a map, or
nobody comes here without his full team. Nope.
You're right. And
without support.
But you're very intuitive. But what she tells me is you had a lot of inner work to do and clearing and stuff like that because you're just not your average guy, and nobody was able to really appreciate that. So therefore, and I feel like growing up, the people you're around weren't able to appreciate that, which in turn you weren't able to appreciate that.
Yep. So
you kept coming in alignment with people to validate that for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like, it's almost like I feel like she came in and cleared out some stuff so you could hear your inner voice.
Yeah.
Are y'all thinking of getting married?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Because they're telling me y'all are going to get married.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've only been together for I don't know. I'm outside of space-time. I have no idea what month it is. I never could. I was going to be a police officer once, but I couldn't do the tags when we go behind a car. I couldn't figure out the months. I didn't know where I'm at in time. But I guess how long we've been together? 3 weeks? I don't know. A month?
A month.
We were talking about the first week.
I was.
She was.
I was.
Well, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
When I got with my partner, the first day I met her, I was like, oh shit, this is not what I wanted. And I put myself in an environment where, nothing against y'all, but because I'm gay, I put myself around straight people. So there would be nothing. And because I just was doing a lot of inner work. Mm-hmm. And my best friend, which is now my sister-in-law, took me to her sister's house for Easter one year. And lo and behold, there comes Rhonda, and she wasn't even going to come because she just did a 24-hour shift. She was a paramedic at the time. And I was just like, I just said, Becky, I knew you had a sister, but my God. But I knew instantly, and it scared me.
Yep.
So we didn't bring the U-Haul. I made her go home every night, or I went home every night. And we lived pretty far from each other in y'all's terms. We lived about 45 minutes from each other. And then we've been together almost, how long? Since 1990.
Oh, wow. Almost
however many years that is, I can't remember.
When I think of 1990, I think of a couple of years ago. And that's 30 years? I cannot believe it.
That's the birth of my first daughter, my only daughter, 32 years ago.
So 32 years ago, okay. So, so we've been together, April, we have been together 33 years.
It's beautiful.
Nice.
So when it happens, when you know. That doesn't mean that y'all won't have some dips and stuff like that, but that's because y'all are clearing out stuff within your own selves.
Yep.
But y'all aren't going to be spewing words at each other or throwing things at each other.
That's really
That's
good.
yeah.
As long as nobody hurts me anymore, I'm really good with that. I'm good.
Well,
We both came from abusive relationships. Bonnie, I was with, sucked. Her husband sucked. We were with them for a long time. Bonnie's 21 years. He was 28.
yeah, well, no. And it's like, so when I'm hearing, pay attention to when fear comes up. So when fear comes up for either one of you, go, what is this bringing up for you? What is it? And really look at that, because both of y'all are safe people.
Beautiful.
But have fun dating. Y'all
Okay.
go out on dates,
Okay.
and it could be you pack a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and go sit by the beach or something.
We just made a pact. Like, every night we're going to be together is going to be like a date night. That's what we want.
That's important, to like have some intent, like let's go somewhere, and of course now that it's new, of course it can be that way, but even 5 years from now, like I said, pack a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and they're using that analogy to keep it simple.
Right.
Yep.
And go to the beach. I mean, y'all live near the, God, y'all have the best beaches. I
It's
thought
very
everybody had,
beautiful.
I thought everybody had beaches like that. We have Gulf of Mexico here.
Doesn't look good?
I do not even go in the water.
Oh.
And my partner couldn't understand why I don't go in the water, because that's all she's known. And then when she went to Florida with me for the first time, she's like, now I see.
I can imagine
Yeah.
what it looks like. It's all brown,
It's
rocky.
dark.
It looks like chocolate milk,
Yeah, it's gross.
and it's got mud in there.
Yeah.
When you go past your ankles, you can't see.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm like, either.
No, that's it. I don't like going on our beaches. You're just too much out there. I was a diver my whole life, so I don't go in shallow water. Shallow water is just dangerous.
Well, Eric says it's good though to get the healingness
Yeah.
from the salt and stuff like that.
Is it true that if you go into, my guide told me, I always, when you get information from a talking board, I always like to validate it. And I've been testing this. I was told that you can take from Veronica, my spiritual advisor on the other side, you can take your shoes off. As long as you're grounding, Gaia will protect you. You can't get bit by scorpions, snakes, step on sand spurs. And I've been doing it for 5 years. I walked 5 miles in the forest with no shoes on during hunting season. Didn't get one twig. I can't walk in my front yard if I go out there to get mail with no shoes on. I got to pull sand spurs out. I step on a stone. I'm
Yeah.
screaming every single time. I'm like, why did I go out without my shoes on? I could walk out in the forest grounding and not one problem.
It is true. It is true. It is true. Because you're not attracting any of that out there because of where you are. Like, I don't ever go into the salt water if there's a little bit of fear, and I always was taught, you check to see if you see something going like this or like this. And so I always look to see if I see something going across the water like this, because then I know it's a shark. But if there's fear in there, then I just don't go in the water past my knees, because you attract that stuff to you.
Yeah. Be
There's
careful
no-
past your knees, because things come in. They can come right into ankle deep water. Very, very
Yes.
hard. But you know
But I
what?
can see.
You're in there. Just ground yourself. Just for the purpose of grounding yourself. The ocean is the same thing as the woods. I don't think anything can happen to you.
It's the truth, because what happens when you ground yourself, what Eric is telling me, you're not in all of that other outer stuff that clutters our minds to where we can't be present where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And you attract that stuff, and it's true. You attract that stuff.
That's another way to look at it too. Yeah.
And I know what you say about the stickers, because they're all over Florida, St. Pete. Oh my God.
Nightmare.
Yeah, we don't have that
My
here.
yard's
but
filled with them.
we still
Our
have big
yard.
roaches, though.
Yeah. You got roaches?
Oh yeah, we have big roaches here, but they're out the outside.
Probably the same thing as Florida. Same
Yeah.
latitude.
Yeah.
Well, you live in Texas. You probably hog hunt and all that, right?
People do hog hunt, but
That's big over there.
hunting is big. But being that I'm vegan,
Oh, you're vegan. Yeah. I thought
And
you said
even-
you eat a little bit of meat, though. Sometimes you eat meat? No?
no, zero.
Really?
To
We
me,
talked
that's
about
like
going
eating
vegan,
your
but we like our
that's like
steak.
it's like eating your arm.
Yeah,
Ew.
it is.
But Eric says some animals come here
To serve man.
to feed us,
Yeah.
because depending on where depending on the DNA we're coming into, some of us, he says, need that whatever it is from a meat.
Same thing my spirit advisor said.
Yeah,
It
it
lowers your
just
vibration
depends on the
temporarily.
DNA you're coming in with. And, I never was a big meat eater. I never liked seafood. Never, ever, ever. I can't even stand the smell of it. And growing up in St. Pete, you think I'd like it? No. It's like a Mexican not liking, beans or rice. But I couldn't, and I never liked it. I could never eat anything on a bone. Never.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I just, gave me this.
She don't like bone things either, so I get her bone meat.
I go back to meat just because I feel like my blood, I need it, but I'd much prefer to go completely off of it for my health.
It can be a challenge. I take supplements and stuff, and not just anything off the shelf.
Right.
And that, but and you have to really make sure you get in protein and and enough. You don't need tons like they say, and there's a balance of not making sure you're getting the majority of your food from carbs and stuff like that, and so it's you have to be very mindful to eat healthy, and I think very mindful to eat healthy however you eat.
Correct.
However, I think the paleo diet is an excellent diet for people, and they eat meat and organs and all that other stuff, but they just don't eat grains, they don't eat sugar, and they don't do dairy. So, and it just depends on your body. And Eric is telling me, listen to what your body is saying.
She's got celiac, where it's like a condition of the lower.
Yeah, and I can understand why, and that makes sense why your sister friend was telling you about doing all that, because the celiac is, can you imagine growing up in your household and having to eat? I mean, that is just, you're just eating anger and anxiety and all that other crap. And I really feel like by you doing the medicine, that would help clear things up.
I have a question. It'll help with when I do the mushrooms. What saved my life as a child was my art. I was consumed by it. I mean, I was actually really talented. I thought I was going to go to art school, but when I got married, within a year, it stopped. Like, it was taken from me, and I've tried and I've tried and I've tried, and I don't even know how to hold the material anymore. But I keep getting downloads that I can write music and I can hear music and I feel art wanting to come back into my life, but that's like, I feel completely blocked, or if it was just a time being that saved me, that it was a gift for a temporary time.
No, not temporary, but there's fear behind it.
Okay.
There's fear behind it. And of course you can write music, but your art, they're saying you could sell your art even. It's just incredible, the stuff that you can do with it. And it's like you're channeling this information, and and then you were in that marriage for that long, so you went from, how old were you when you got married?
I was 17 when I was with him, so I feel like, yeah.
So you lived with your family for 17 years, and then from 17 to whenever you just left it. So it continued, but it progressed. So you just think back about how all the times you're eating all that. So you're not nourishing your body. You're eating all that stuff inside of you. So of course you have celiac. And it's funny that I even mentioned the paleo diet, because the paleo diet is amazing for celiac.
Wow. Oh, because it's the high protein and.
Well, you don't eat any grains, and you don't eat any dairy.
Okay.
And but you can have eggs.
Okay.
And you don't have any sugar.
Okay.
So the majority of your food is not processed, but you can eat as much vegetables. There's a book on it, like the research and stuff, not just like how to do the recipes, or you can Google it or whatever. But people have healed themselves, and there's like 10 doctors that researched this for over 20 years, and one of the doctors had MS so bad she was in a wheelchair, and when they started doing she started doing the paleo diet, she's completely out of a wheelchair.
Okay.
So you can heal it, but it's but when
That's the diet she's on right now, pretty much, because of celiac. It's the same diet, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, and eating a lot of processed foods is not good, even though they have a lot of processed foods for people with celiac or Crohn's or whatever, that processed food is a killer for us.
Okay.
But look at the ingredients in processed foods, and so y'all have this place there called the Health Hut or something. It's kind of like equivalent to a Whole Foods. And, you want to make sure that you get healthy foods and stuff. And yes, it costs more, but you're going to start feeling a difference on your body. And, of course, your meditation and your healing and all that stuff is going to do a lot. And don't be worried or nervous. I say don't be. I mean, know that everything is okay right now.
Okay.
He's not a monster. He's not going to touch you. He's completely opposite. Okay. And I don't know your Eric personally where I can say, oh, I've known him for years or not. This is the information I'm getting.
I can feel it. I really can. I've never felt this safe in my whole life, which scares me, honestly, because every time I just get scared
because it's uncomfortable. It's not familiar. So get in the habit of spending some time in the comfortableness of it, like in the yumminess of it. Just like the other day, somebody contacted me because they wanted to know if I wanted to do something that they haven't done, and the person that thought of me, it's in Sweden, and I just sat yesterday going, isn't that awesome how somebody in Sweden was thinking of me? Mm-hmm. And I just sat in that yumminess and that feel. And the next thing I know, 30 minutes had gone by and just feeling that yumminess. That somebody in Sweden was thinking of me to do this.
It's beautiful.
And so sit with that yumminess. See what because what Eric is telling me, you have to get, it's like you're introducing yourself into the calmness and the yumminess of stuff because you've been in drama for so long. So so when feel like you're bored, that's calmness. Okay. So just sit in the calmness of it. Okay. He's not leaving, so you don't have to get married next week.
Okay. He is a little nervous.
And when it's the right time, you'll just know. And I feel like it will be a very intimate ceremony type thing, very intimate. It could be probably just you two and maybe 2 or 3 other people. Very intimate.
My fear is that somebody changes, because my whole life it's like, people change.
They do, but it depends. But
change
and we all
worse.
change.
Yeah.
But changing together and stuff, and you'll know by staying by how y'all are doing things together. And this is the honeymoon phase, so everything is just amazing. But y'all aren't 20 anymore, so it's going to be different, than that. So yeah, and keep exploring y'all's work, because the stuff that she does, you don't do, and the stuff that you do, she doesn't do. And you didn't lose your artwork. It's in you.
Okay.
We'll never run out of stuff to do, because and here's another thing too. This is one of my only question here, really. This is really for her. For our lives mirror each other.
Yes.
Everything that's happened in her life has happened in mine. My life is hers. Right down to little things like 4th grade, 3rd grade teacher. We write a book, and the teacher took the book from us and didn't give it back. Just little things like that. Sprain the same ankle 3 times. Our whole life is mirroring each other from day one. Our relationships, the times we had troubles in our relationships, the worst, our long-term relationships.
Our children look alike.
Our children are alike. They mirror each other.
It's weird.
Her 2 boys are like my 2 boys. It's really bizarre. It's like she's a shard, like she's like we're the same soul cut in half, and from the same dimensional. I've never heard of it. It's not a twin flame. It's not a soulmate. And I'm getting on the side. Don't probe that aspect of it. Don't, because there's a lot of things they don't want you to know about. But there's something crazy about what's going on with her and I.
Something fun. So when you talk about the soul, like split and that, not twin flames and that, what Eric is telling me is, and he's reminding me because, I had a brother that crossed over 41 years ago, and I had a session with somebody, or they had one with me, and right towards the end, I heard, "That's me," because I kept saying, "I know this guy from somewhere. I must have had a life with him or something," and that was my older brother reincarnated into this guy. But what he said, and I was like, "You're there," and what he said was, "It's like you get a bubble. It's like a bubble of his soul that reincarnates into someone else, and then he can have another portion of him somewhere, and another portion of him somewhere." And so his soul is probably in 4 other people right at the same time.
Okay.
And so when you're saying your soul's, sliced or whatever, what I get is that, you're from source energy, so of course you're one.
Oh, man.
But what I'm seeing is that what I get is that, it's almost like, because they're showing me when you're non-physical, how they're showing me how it's like a fluid tube, and then as y'all were coming down, it's like y'all went into 2 souls, 2 bodies.
That's the way I see it, man. And you don't exchange a glance with a stranger on a street corner without it being pre-planned before you got here.
Correct.
So, and since
How did you meet her? How did you meet her?
You could write a book about this. I was like on Facebook dating. She woke up like she had a urge to be on there. Her bio was downloaded by, I guess, the Orions, Gina maybe, or our group. And we just liked each other's stuff on it. Everything on her bio I circled that I liked. It was almost every sentence was on there. I was like, I got to meet this girl. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And then we got downloads that night. What was the downloads that night?
I don't know.
I immediately started arguing with her about something. It was something about a relationship. And I think Eric and Gina or somebody, the Ryans came to us, told us what to say in the morning. We made up right away. But it's like we've been together for 30 years already the first day.
It was weird. The connection he was like my husband, and I can't believe I even listened to him, because no one else would be like,
and I can't believe I talked to her that way.
Swipe left, who are you?
And she tells me she's an Orion my friend Sarah said, don't bring up nothing to these girls about your Orion shit, the aliens. I said, I'm not, I won't do it. She goes, I'm an Orion. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, there's something that this girl is being lined up for me. Because the last session you and I did, Denise, was just have Maria and Gina just freaking set me up with somebody. I don't want to go through trial. I don't want to go out with a bunch of girls. Set me up with somebody in Publix or whatever, which ain't going to happen. But electronic media, the dating site is perfect because, like my spirits guide said, I said, how can you do somebody on a dating site? Well, so it's even easier because it's all energy. It's electric.
Yeah.
So it's even easier to put on. So I'm like, well, that's the place to meet somebody. She got the same thing.
I didn't want to do it actually, but I got this overwhelming feeling that I needed absolute help from the other side, and they said, do this and don't be afraid and don't judge yourself for what you're doing. You need help. You need someone's hand to pull you where you are right now. This is dangerous for you. And I judged myself heavily because it's a long story. We'll talk again, but I needed him. I needed Eric. I needed it.
I pretty much forced her out of that situation she was in.
Yeah.
like somebody was with her for 30 years. It was crazy.
Yeah,
She's reminding me of stuff I was saying. I was like, I can't
he
believe I
said
said that.
Stockholm syndrome. He said all this stuff to me. It was.
I said, that's not fucking love. That's Stockholm syndrome.
I just
28 years of Stockholm. I've had it because I know 21 years of Stockholm. It's not love. And you almost can
Right.
go back to that person. You really can go back to that person.
I
because
did divorce this person.
She did go back to him.
And I divorced him by myself, but he came back wanting me back, and there was a reason why I did go back, but it wasn't to be with him. It was to bridge the family. There was people that needed him to come back into the life and take up, because I cannot handle this right now. He needs to come back and help his kids. I don't know why I did it, honestly, but I was being swallowed by him again and controlled.
Right, and that's because, because a lot of fear in there.
Yes.
A lot of fear in there. And you so desperately wanted a family.
Correct.
And that's why you stayed as long as you did. He was just butt ugly mean to you.
Horribly, still.
Mm-hmm. So block his number because you don't need him. How old is your youngest child?
He's 27.
So block his number. You don't need him for anything.
It's the second time they told you that.
Yes.
You don't need him for anything. And don't worry about what he says. And if it goes to voicemail, if he leaves a voicemail, don't even listen to it. Swipe it and delete it.
Okay.
He popped in yesterday to give her necklace back and just left. Is there a motive behind that? Let's rat him out.
It's to let her know, like, I'm still here.
That's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, so you may even, if he happens to do that again, you let him know, like, you're not allowed here anymore.
I'm marrying my daughter on the 9th, and that was also the reason why I allowed what happened to bridge, because she was not going to let him come to the wedding. It's a very intimate, small thing. And I felt so sad that Mackenzie was going to not do this, and I knew that somehow he needed to be at this wedding. And now I'm kicking my ass because, sort of, I'm very uncomfortable with him being there now, because I'm officiating this and I'm very stressed over it, you know.
Well, he doesn't need to be there. It's you that feels like he needed to be there because of the family situation.
It's the family thing.
So you're doing the wedding?
I am.
So you just go in there, and before you get into meditation, do what you need to do for to get yourself grounded, you know, and go in and do the wedding. Don't make eye contact with him. If he says hi, you can just say hi and then turn your head and do whatever. They will stop when they're not getting the attention.
Okay.
They may come across a little bit more aggressive, but at first, you know, but when it's kind of like teasing somebody. If you're not getting a reaction, you go to somebody else and do the same thing.
Okay.
And so, you know, you just don't give them any attention.
And I haven't been. Ever since I met him, the fear is leaving me. Like, I feel safe, and I don't.
Yeah. You are safe, and also you may need to, if he continues to come over unexpectedly, let him know that if he does it one more time, or if he says at the wedding, you know, I'm going to come over and bring you this thing, you're not welcomed. And if you come over, I will go and get a protective order out.
Yes.
That's what I told her to do.
And then you follow through.
Correct.
He's just one of those guys who keeps trying to. He's just gonna get in her life. It's like an adversary from a past life following her around.
He's extremely intelligent and very masterful with his words, manipulative, very.
Well,
very
of course,
good.
that's how he connected you.
Yes.
You don't go to somebody who's butt ugly where they're showing that.
Right.
So, but vibrationally, y'all were a match. That's why y'all connected, because you need to learn something. But that's what you don't listen to the words or anything. You just didn't, because what you're doing is you're going to start taking your power back. And I would get some books and read about, and notice how your stomach feels when you're around him, or thinking about going around him. And I would get some books or something and read about being in an abusive relationship and about healing those parts of you as well.
Okay.
That would be very helpful. I think it would be a lot of healing and doing the medicine, as I call it, but also just to help, because you need to know that you're so much more than what you've ever been told.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll
And
tell you
Eric,
everything.
Eric's, you're working through your stuff too, and so like I said, y'all will get married, but you don't need to rush into it in the next 5 months for sure.
Mhm.
Okay.
And technically you really don't even have to get married, but I feel like this is something that you want. I didn't need to get married, but I did it just because in 2014 for legal purposes. So my family can't come in and take the house and stuff from my partner and our daughter, and vice versa. Because when people die and there's assets, people
Yeah.
get real stupid.
Yep.
Yep, I know.
Ruins people.
Yep.
And I saw it in my family when my mother died.
See, one thing I'm worried about is the IRS. I beat them like 23 years ago. They can't touch me. They can't touch anything because they know I can beat them. I beat them. I'm worried about joining with her as one, and then we become one entity. Then they go after her because she's not protected, and then they start taking stuff. Because they can't take anything from me right now.
Right. Well, like I said, you can have a ceremony without the paper, because the paper is meaningless if you don't have two active people wanting the relationship. You know what I mean? Like, look at Oprah. She's not married, and she's been with her
Oh, the marriage part doesn't
partner.
scare me, but when I'd marry her right now. But it's the only thing is the government. Of course, I think all that's going to end by the end of the year, anyways.
There's going to be some big shifts, and this is stuff that I've gotten.
We're going to be spiritually naked, all of us.
I feel like, Eric says, this is why a lot of stuff is crumbling apart. And he says, like with this student loan debt relief or whatever, that's part of it, because it's making people not okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's going to start revealing things. And I've often felt within my meditation and just on my walks that by November we're going to see things somewhat different, and by the first quarter of next year we're really going to see things. And I listened to a woman on YouTube, or she's not on YouTube anymore because she got a couple of hits from YouTube, but her name's Marina Jacoby, and she's on email and Facebook, I think. But I was listening to her thing last time because she channels from a Council of Nine, she says. And but she was confirming stuff that I'm like, that's what I got. And I'm just listening to her. I don't get into everything she says, but that I was like, yeah, because I just know. And then it's going to take some time. Y'all will probably see a lot more of the yumminess and the goodness than I will, because I'm older than you. But it's going to be really nice for my daughter and your kids and your kids.
That's what I was telling her. It's all for the kids.
It is. Well, and they came here different than
Oh, yeah. The ones born 30 years ago, they're going to kick the old guard out.
Yeah. I mean, today when I was blow drying my hair, I was like, I'm an elder. I never thought of that. I'm an elder. I was like, that is so bizarre.
It's so important.
Are you outside of time too? It seems like time is losing its meaning.
It's just so bizarre. I mean,
I look at her like she's 16. It's really weird.
Yeah, I think it's weird that I'm going to be 65. I'm just like, that is so flippin' bizarre.
It is weird. It is weird.
I'm just like, so flippin' bizarre.
What is going on?
I'm not like your typical almost 65-year-old person.
Thank God.
I'm just not.
We get a McDonald's discount for senior citizens.
Don't eat that stuff.
We put them in a hamburger.
Yeah, I used to love that place in my teens and
Hey,
20s.
Ask Eric, are they putting kids in the hamburgers there?
He said no. But
They do find human DNA in that McDonald's meat, though. It's on Google.
He says,
They sure own a lot of meat processing plants and a lot of cement companies, like a big mafia that runs this country.
he's showing me like there's very little food product in that.
Oh, there's hardly any food product.
In that meat patty, or the fish. The fish isn't even. He's telling me isn't even real fish.
Oh.
It's like that imitation crab meat.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even real. He's telling me, and it used to be real meat. And he's telling me, like, when I used to eat it, it was different, and the food was bigger. Because I remember I could eat a cheeseburger and fry, and it'd fill me up for almost the whole day. But he showed me there's very little food in their patties.
Nutritional value is almost nothing.
It's like food-like products, but it's not food that's in there. He does tell me in some places of the map, and he showed me around the world, they do use animal products. Yeah. Like
it's cheaper.
Other than cow.
Monkey, kangaroo, horses.
Yeah.
I have one last question.
Sure.
This has to do with the metaphysical side of me, which has been my food this whole time. Am I supposed to be doing this for a living? Because I'm not working. I'm on disability right now, still dealing with all sorts of stuff. But I can't go back into the medical field. But I've been feeling like before all this happened with the divorce, I wanted to go into Reiki and shaman work, but I've been floored by all this, and I'm just confused by what's happening. And then I had a dream during COVID. Well, actually, it wasn't a dream. It was something that I'm supposed to work with animals with my healing. Horses, actually. Very strange. But I don't know.
Y'all have a lot of horses there?
No, I don't. But, I mean, it's
Not
Florida.
as much as Texas, I'm sure. Yeah. We do have them, though.
You do? You can work with animals. And, that would, they're saying yes. But what I'm really getting is focus more on your healing first.
Okay.
Because then all of that will become clearer.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And when you say, what did you do in the medical field?
EMT, IV tech, surgical tech.
I feel like you'll do something that's kind of affiliated with the medical field, but it's not going to be your generic type stuff. And it could be your healing. And what I'm hearing is you don't even need to take Reiki or whatever it is, because it just comes through you.
Yes, I feel that.
And I didn't take any classes for any of the stuff that I do. I just went within.
Okay. That makes
and just become comfortable with it. And I'm hearing, get comfortable with this. What is the yellow energy?
Yes.
That was Sally. She says her name's Sally.
Okay.
And start getting to know her, feel her energy in that. But take care of you first. Get this part healed up.
Okay.
And then.
That's what I told her. She didn't have to do anything. Just take years to recover.
Well,
she deserves to
won't
take
take years, but what you can do is start doing your artwork again.
Okay.
And do you drink coffee?
I do.
I'm hearing asthma. They're telling me for you to let go of that.
Okay.
Because you have a lot of inflammation in your body.
Okay, I do. I feel that too.
We just found that out 2 days ago or something with our.
And coffee has a lot. It dehydrates you and it causes inflammation.
Done.
So
thank you.
With me too.
Drink some. You can drink it if you want. It's. I don't get anything for you.
I was only supposed to drink 6 ounces a day according to my DNA test.
Oh, I used to drink 32 ounces
Me too.
a day. I love my coffee.
I know. 2 7-Eleven 32 ounces, and I'd be walking around with a coffee gut all day. I feel sick.
No, I loved my coffee, and I had it all doctored up with, almond milk and some stuff that I get from this place called Rainbow without the W, some drops 1111 in there, and I didn't put sugar or nothing in it, and I did some MCT powder in there, and oh my God, I love coffee. But one day I just heard, if you let go of the coffee now, you won't have any withdrawals. It'll be like when you stop smoking. And we had just bought 4 coffee creamers because you can't buy them everywhere because of the type we drink. And we just bought a 5-pound bag of organic coffee, and I'm not drinking coffee anymore. And I had no headaches, nothing.
I switched to espresso.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're building a Tim Hortons coffee place here in Texas. They're from Canton, and it's like the best.
I love that coffee. It's good.
I was like, well, it's a good thing I don't drink it because I'd be spending money there.
Hey, her and I, in the last few years, we're getting 8K pictures of people's faces coming. I'm talking super high resolution.
Like an FBI profiler, but
like
it's so in-depth.
Character faces popping into our mind.
Fast.
Like when we're really quiet and meditating, or like I'm on a cabin porch in the dark or in the hot tub. These people's faces will like I'm not thinking about this stuff at all. No. And it's 8K, not 4K. I mean, it's really high resolution characters. Just people's faces, one after another. She gets them too.
Yeah,
she gets everything I
get.
get.
It's really strange.
What is that? And my son came through to both of us, and I called up my son. I said, "Is something wrong?"
Yep.
I said, "Why are you coming through to her, and then coming through to me?"
Like, yeah.
Your face. He got high blood pressure.
Because she will get messages to speak to you with.
That's what they told me. I will get these messages, and I'm supposed to tell him.
Yes.
Because he can execute it and help me with it, because he's my guy. He's my partner. Eric is saying he's just going like this and this, and he just loves that kind of stuff. So that's cute for you, Eric.
She'll pick up the casings and mop up the blood and not say nothing.
That's right, Daddy.
So what I get is that from all of that is there's more to come for y'all.
Okay.
More to come. And some of this stuff, we don't get all the answers right now. We're just supposed to be.
Yeah, it wouldn't be any fun if we did.
They keep saying, be in love. You know what love feels like now. Now, just stay in that energy. Always.
That's what my brother told me in a dream visit I had on August 15th of this year. I was in Costa Rica, and he came to me in a dream, and I was just like all over him, just like, oh my God, I just love you. It's so good to see you and all this. And then we were on this raft, like a wooden raft floating, and he was driving it, and he was real tall. I really could never see his face. And I remember saying, oh, you have that pretty skin color still, because him and my sister have that olive skin complexion, so they always had that nice color, skin color, tanned or whatever. And he was a merchant marine anyway, but and I asked him, because I have a client that's real into the hoarding of the food and this, because we're going to collapse any day. And I said, Guy, I said, is it true what whoever her name was, I'll just call her Sue said, is that? And he goes, just be in love, just believe in love, stay in the truth of love. Yep. And that's what it was. And when you said that, I was like, that's the message I got.
Every sentence you say is something we're talking about in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Love bridges all the gaps.
And the reason why I say August 15th is because when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I had a visit. I was like, oh my God, Guy. And then I asked my partner, I said, what's the date? And she goes, the 15th. That was the day they found his body.
Wow, that's my brother's birthday.
Yeah,
that's
that was
wild.
the day. But he was supposed to transition on August 9th. That's when he transitioned, August 9th. And he was supposed to. And so.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Denise.
Thank y'all so much. It's so good to see both of you. Meet you, Heather, and see you again, Eric. And
we'll see you once a month.
I'd love to.
Just have fun.
Yeah. Can I ask you one last question? What is your necklace? What is it?
This necklace, and it's funny you ask, because the necklace is Chinese, and it's meant to be together, like two people from across are meant to be together. My daughter's Chinese. We adopted her from China. And I got this at our first Chinese New Year. They were having a raffle, and somebody here in the U.S. who adopted from China started designing jewelry.
Oh,
so that's what that means.
I love it. It's mesmerizing.
Thanks. Yeah, it's I never take it off. It's the only piece of silver I wear too. I don't, but that's what it means. It's meant to be, and I find it fascinating the people that ask me, because I feel like when that person asks me, they are meant to hear that whatever is going on is meant to be.
Ooh, my high heart chakra just went. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you're so welcome. And I will, Eric, I'll text you
Okay, great.
that guy's number.
Thank you so much.
You'll get it on Signal. And you can just download your app if y'all have a smartphone, which I'm sure y'all do.
Yeah, yep.
And download the app Signal and set it up and that.
Perfect. I was going to do that anyways. Yep. Thanks
All
a
right.
lot.
Thank
Y'all
you.
take care.
Thank you.
And enjoy the weekend.
You
Thank
too.
You too.
All right.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.